Hey guys, Kaz here. Just coming at you with a 2025 Supercoach team reveal and pretty much getting right into it. Starting at D1, we've got the Zork. Now, I know a lot of people have got Sheasel in their D1. I don't mind it. He's definitely 100% a target for me. The only issue I have is it just takes one slightly off game, something to happen, like we saw with Dacos yesterday, just a down game and his break even's tanked and he won't make much money or really any at all. I mean, worst case scenario, what he gets to 700 plus, I mean, we can cross that bridge when we come to it. I just think he's, yeah, he's definitely good and no question with having him in your team. I just find there's a little bit more value in Supercoach this year. Someone like a Sheasel, yeah, we can always bring him in later if, you know, he is killing it. But I'm just essentially waiting that hopefully there's one down game in the first five and his break even isn't too high. I mean, isn't too low and he goes to 720, 730. Anyway, next up, where is he? We have got Clark. I mean, he's only in 8% of teams, which surprised me a little bit. He seems to be a fairly popular pick in the Supercoach community. Yeah, I mean, I view him and Ryan as essentially interchangeable in terms of scoring potential this year. So the fact he's 60k less is huge. Yeah, I had him last year. He was pretty steady. I'd imagine he should be going, yeah, pretty much that again, which I'm fine with that. So yeah, those two are sort of my premiums. Next up, we've got Short. Now, I know with Short, a lot of people are fading him. I mean, he's in 22% of teams, but they're worried about, injury concern, etc. I actually don't mind it. I think he'll be seeing plenty of football. I mean, Richmond, it's going to be a grim year for them, to be completely honest. So you sort of want to take that chance, I think. I mean, if he makes 100k, that's an easy upgrade to the Shees then or something, you know what I mean? I just feel he could easily be going stable, scoring, filling in. Takes a rookie off the field. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think he'll be fine. A lot of people are worried, but he should just see so much of the football that it won't really matter. Next up, our young boy Roberts. Now, I've had Roberts last year as well, and he was sort of hanging around D6, I think, for most of the year, if I remember correctly. I mean, his scoring was pretty solid. I liked it. As you can see, he's had a couple of games there. I don't know. I might have jumped off him. Not sure. Could have sworn he was a bit more consistent than that, but I guess the difference is with the rookies, yeah. Anyway, he still scores extremely well. I think with the way Dean Cox's Sydney set up to play, he should be scoring. He probably won't average 120s plus, but he should be over 100 pretty easily. Next up, our boy Perryman. Now, I like Perryman. I think the fact he scored 93 yesterday after Collingwood got thumped, really, actually positive signs for the guy. 93 is solid, for what he is, 417k, just someone that you'll take that on the field, no doubt at all. I just don't trust defensive rookies this year. I got burned with Gibcus and Reid last year and had essentially two dead rookies by round 3, which you want to avoid that if you can help it at all. So that's why I've gone sort of mid-priced madness in there. Got the boy Pryor from Essendon. He should be playing early on in the year. I mean, if his job security comes into question later on, we can think about it then. I just find with a rookie, paying a little bit higher price for them works out okay because it's a lot easier to go down to another rookie, say, where it's not down, but he's another one that's a real solid option, Cleary. Yeah, if I was going to switch Pryor out for anybody, it probably would be him. It's a bit more of a pod. Yeah, he's got the Bevo factor though, so yeah, play Cleary at your own risk, I suppose. Now I got Leak. I'm not very confident with Leak, to be honest. He might be one that's changed. I just think after yesterday's performance, it was all right, but I don't know. There was a few times that it looked like he was running in mud, so I'm not sure if he's going to be a solid long-term option for us. Like, he's all right. I don't mind him. If he was averaging 64 and he stayed in the team, yeah, take him for sure. I just am skeptical on his job security, unfortunately. They got Tom Green coming back, String Bean. I saw he was in the forward line for a bit. Hogan's back, so yeah, the GWS is going to be competitive. All right, on to the mids. Now, I've gone pretty heavy value. I've sort of passed over your Dacos. I mean, a lot of people are going to jump off Dacos now. He's at 53%, scored 67. Yeah, he's... I don't know. I was always aiming to bring him in after the bye, so we'll see how he's looking at that point. Neil as well. Just a bit too expensive. I think there's so much value in Supercoach this year. You really do have to think twice about starting these big boys. I mean, look at the injuries. That's sad. Obviously aiming to bring in the Bont and Butters. I mean, Bont probably won't stay 680. Who knows? No Sarong for myself either. I've gone actually quite value. This might be questionable, but I think Dawson, he's got plenty of upside at 550k. He reminds me a lot of Cripps. Just a dude that's when you need him, he's there, and he plays so strong, I suppose I would say. Like, you know, he's in the forward line, he's in the defence, he's getting clearances in the midfield. I mean, he's a gun. Our boy Rosie. Now I know we're saying our boys. I should say my boy Rosie. Big fan. I think with Butters not in the midfield now, he's going to be a lock, top, easily top 8 midfield until round, what is it, 6 or 7? No, 7. So yeah, I just think Rosie, 529. I mean, he started out last year, he was more expensive than that and dropped down. I mean, he had a few ups and downs last year. What was it? Yeah, he's lost 88k. It's still okay. I mean, I think he'll be going 100% better than that. He's got Essendon early on, so expect a ceiling score in the first few rounds. I mean, his price should rise. Whether that comes in as a swap for Butters later on and when Butters is back, who knows. But yeah, I definitely think those two dudes, for value, they're really good. I mean, they have potential to be top 8, I think. Yeah, Rosie is a wait and see with Butters, but I mean, that's still like a month or so away, a bit longer. Now I've gone mid-priced heavy again in the midfield. So Day, I had him before the season started. He's a gun. My concern is he averages 14 games a season through his career. So it really is probably just going to be a case of making hay while the sun shines with Will Day. Just got to rely, hope with some scores like this, bumping him up early on, that he makes 100k at this price range, which would be amazing. And then it's an easy swap then to your Bont or your Dacos, who's lost price or whatever. Yeah, I mean, he's no doubt a good player, and he would be a top mid, but he's just got injury concerns, sadly. Next up, the local boy, Clayton Oliver. Love Clary. At 450k, that is a bargain. I think he started last year 600 plus. Look at that. 269k cheaper than he started last year. And I mean, he had a shocker last year, but as everyone knows, he had an interrupted pre-season. I mean, he had a hand problem sort of later on in the year. It was tough. But yeah, the fact he's starting at 450, you can't pass that up. I mean, he Supercoach royalty essentially before last year, with the years before that, of how consistent he was. Like, let's just have a quick check out here. It's 2024. Is there a way to change the season? Oh, there we go. Season stats. Look, let's go back 2022. Score. Like, I mean, just look at this. This is kind of the stuff you'll expect. Just incredible. I mean, I'm not sure what actually happened there, but yeah, I think with Clary, the upsides too. I mean, everyone's got him, so it's not really even a debate about having him in your team if you're serious, but definitely the most value pick, I'd reckon. Him or maybe Daniel, if Daniel keeps the same role, but I think for that price range, yeah, Oliver, incredible. And next up, Chera. I think he should just be solid. I mean, he's one that I look at trying to just make some money at this price range. 100k, easy then swap up to one of these big dogs. I'm not sure about Heaney actually staying at that price, but anyway, that's a discussion for a different time. I think Chera should be, pretty solid. Better than having a rookie on the field. He's looked good. We saw what Elliot Yeo, how he went after Qatar last year, which Chera had the same or similar treatment. So yeah, hopefully soft tissue issues not a problem at the start of the year. I mean, I think Carlton have the early bye, so he should be just someone sitting on there, whether he ends up in our M8 at that time, just as a way to tide us over, keep rookie scores off the field. You know how it goes. I think, yeah, definitely a huge upside with Chera. And now, Callahan. Now, a lot of people will say this is crazy, but I think after watching him yesterday, you can't not have Callahan in your team. I think he's so big and so fast. He's just a specimen, as you would say. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think, 144, that's already factored into his break even and price changes now. So, like, that's a locked. And he'll probably be going pretty decent. I mean, I don't know what GWS's draw is like. What are they looking at here? No, oh my God. Oof. Like, super good. I'm not sure about Gold Coast, but wow. I mean, he's got the bye early. That sucks. But I just think if you're going to trade him in after his bye, like, just start with him. He's going to score well, and he'll hit his break even that game against West Coast. Well, that's worrying. Yeah, Callahan, I think, is a definite start. As you can see, it's fairly mid-price heavy again in the midfield. I'll just go through the rookies. I mean, I got decently high-priced rookies. Just want to make sure the fellas are getting a game. Ashcroft, sub-risk, maybe. But the kid was probably good enough to go pick one. Our father and son rules, etc. just sort of messed that up. But I think he should be getting a gig for Brisbane. And he doesn't need to score super high to make money. If he's getting 70s, I'd be happy with that. Mitchy Nevitt, one of Chris Scott's favoured type of players, I guess I would say. He just fits the Geelong mould of just your generic guys, your Jags, as you would call them. And they can play, so he looks good. I definitely have confidence that he'll make money, even just through job security, whether we have to sit on him for a while. I don't think we will. I think he might be an early flip because he's already got some cash built in and he's scoring okay. But yeah, Mitchy Nevitt, most people have him, I think, if they're semi-serious. Now, Camporeale, he's another one I would say lock in if you don't have him. Lucas. Starting wing role, he's been named, and yeah, his competition for that spot is Jackson Binns, which if you don't follow Carlton very closely, Binns is one of those guys who he looks like at VFL level, he could be really good, but anytime you see him at AFL level, it's just, there's something just not quite there, unfortunately. So yeah, Camporeale's direct competition is Binns, and looks like he's already beaten him out for the spot. So we just hope he can hold that down. Wing rolls are fairly variable in terms of some weeks he might have ceiling games, some weeks he'll have floors. Depends how the ball falls, unfortunately. Carlton has a few games at the G and stuff as well, which is always tougher for wingers. But yeah, I think he's a lock. Just hold him. He's one that can be a slow burn as well as same as this next fella. I think a couple of these St Kilda boys are just long holds. They might not score super well. I mean, he looked okay in the practice game, but it's just like Darcy Wilson last year, one of those guys that'll just plod along. If they get a ceiling game, that's gravy. Otherwise, yeah, we just make of it what it is. He's one that I'm open. Most of the rest of these guys, these rookies, are locked for me. Boxall, he might be one that I could consider. Next up, Rux. Again, a little bit of value. Now, it may not make sense. You'll see with Meek there. He's got the early buy. I think it's round 4 or something. But I like him. I think Meek, I had him last year as a cash gen, but you can just see he just is a good ruckman to watch. You can tell that he does what Supercoach values in ruckman in terms of he'll bust packs, he'll pop up with a goal, he takes marks. I mean, he doesn't quite have the ceiling of your Gorns, but I definitely think he's steady. He'll be right up there at the end of the year. So yeah, Meek is definitely one with the buy. It hurts. I can see why a lot of people are fading him, but I think that might actually help that not as many people have him. Anyway, because yeah, Grundy, you can see 1% of people have Grundy. It's just he's playing a little bit hurt. I don't know. Might be the end of the line for Grundy, unfortunately. We'll see how we go. Next up, DeConning. Obviously, with DeConning, 47% of people have him. I mean, got the ceiling of a Max Gawn. Does he? He's a bit injury prone. I'm a Carlton guy, so I always worry about DeConning. He's not built like your Meek or your Wits, even Cherry. He is built a bit more like Gawn. Gawn, he's a little bit of a freak of nature in terms of how he's avoided being injured in the ruck for so long. But yeah, DeConning very similar, just mobile. If you ever watched Dean Cox back in the day, I mean, he's exactly that kind of ruckman. It's more so what he can do, not in the ruck contests as much as how good he is at rucking that make them, yeah, a really threatening player. I think if we get a ceiling game or two out of him early in the year, then we're laughing with DeConning. I mean, he might be an upgrade to Cherry, potentially. If he gets injured or they're resting him, Pito comes back. I mean, let's not get started on Vossi's selections, but that's the rucks. I mean, it will make sense. No Flynn. I mean, I've got Flynn at flex. I'll do the flex just because Flynn, it works. I like it. I think with the floor of a ruck, one of these rookies has a bit of an off game, it'll be okay. Flynn should hopefully get 90, and then you, that goes into your score rather than your 23rd from the rookie. And then this way, when Meek has the bye, with Sims being a forward, I'm able to sub him, bring one of the forwards I've got on the bench. But yeah, I just think Flynn works as a flex really, really well. Now for the forwards, I've faded Horn Francis. I think 63% of people have him. I mean, he definitely is top 6. So, will he make money? Probably yes. Is he going to be like 700k ever though? I don't think so. I think you'd be looking at 600 at worst case scenario for the horny one. Yeah, it's a fade. I mean, I could regret it. He could pop off and it'll be oh my god, why I can't fit him in. But I just think with Horn Francis, if Port do put him forward and because he's good, like in terms of actual team structure and everything, not Supercoach scoring, Horn Francis in the forward line is really good. But for Supercoach scoring, it's not conducive to stable scores, unfortunately. So I don't know. If he's mid, yeah, this will hurt, but I'm fading him. I am jumping on Rankin though. I mean, he's the second most owned. I feel most people have Horn Francis and Rankin, but I've just got Rankin. I like him. I think with the mid-time now, he's one of those sort of players that even at AFL level, he makes it look a little bit too easy, if you know what I mean. He's, somehow can weave through people and, just a great player to watch. Really like Rankin. And I think he's definitely a lock for top 6. So, another thing with Horn Francis, I mean, we're probably going to have Petrarca and it's looking like Chad Warner coming in. So, I mean, they're another 2, and then, I'll go to my next few players, but, I mean, everyone's got these guys, so they don't really bear much talking about, and people might not have them at F2 and F3, like myself. But I just think with them, the other guys will be upgraded, but I feel like those 2 will be sitting there even into their, barring injury, most of the year. I don't see many forwards actually being able to top that kind of scoring. And who we got? Next up, my man Garcia now. He's a bit of a pot. I mean, 16% of teams, that's not bad. I think the price, some people might have him at flex. I've tossed up having him at flex myself with the mid forward. Gives you a lot of options between your rookies then of who you would take on the field. But I just think he should be going pretty fine. I mean, 70s, if he gets that, he'll make some money. He'll be in the price band then of a decent chance to upgrade, maybe. Yeah, I like him. I think he plays a pretty good game, and he seems like he's actually going to have a spot this year, unlike last year where he was on the fringe. So we rock Garcia, and then we rock Kako. I mean, a lot of people have Kako. How many is it? 70%. One of the most owned. He's up there with Daniel. I mean, going to probably be prone to small forward issues of if he kicks 4 goals, he'll score 100 plus, but if he doesn't kick 4 goals, he'll score 60. So yeah, he's a toss-up on the field, but I like him. He should make money. If he gets a ceiling game, then yeah, we're gravy. Sammy boy, Sam Davidson. I mean, most people should have him as well. 56% lower than Kako, but I think anyone that follows sort of Supercoach rookie drafting prospects, he's in most teams. He's got a spot. Seems like he's one of Bevo's boys, which is a good sign when you're at the Doggies. Should get a game. And if he's affected by Bont, I'm not sure. And Trelaw coming back, toss it up. But I think if he's one of Bevo's boys, maybe someone else will be making way. Well, who knows? Libba might get injured. A lot can change. I've gone Pow Pepper. A lot of people will be saying Pow Pepper on the bench. I'm looking, it's going to be a week by week. Pow Pepper, Kako, Davidson. And this young fella Hall, I think Hall's got a good chance, like Darcy Wilson last year again. I keep mentioning Darcy Wilson, but he's just your prototype example of just a guy that scores pretty bang average, has one ceiling game, and then manages to make you an extra 100k on top of what you thought you were going to get from them. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, it leaves me with 0 salary cap, so all money utilised. I like it. I think the defensive rookies, I can't be hung out to dry again like I was last year with 2 dead rookies by round 3. It's a killer. Sort of affected the upgrade pattern right through the year. Then you've got to toss up, do I jump off one of these rookies here instead of making a trade for, one of these rookies in the mid, or upgrading one of these guys? So yeah, I mean, a lot of people might have one less mid-pricer in the mid, upgrade to there, have your Sarongs, your Neil types, but no, I'm pretty confident. I quite like the mid-prices. I mean, the fact that Day and Callahan already have 140s factored in will help. I imagine a lot of people are going to jump on them. Chera's mainly the pod there. But yes, I just think there's so much value in Supercoach this year, especially like these guys. Everyone knows about them, but yeah, like a lot of those, most of these people should make money. I mean, the Zorko, that's a controversial pick, but not having the buy helps so much for Brisbane. They've got a really good fixture. I mean, Kitty Coleman may come back down the line, but if he does and Zorko's role is affected, I mean, that's going to be fairly easy swap to the Shees. And yeah, I just think for the Zork, he's a marvel. He somehow has defied a lot of logic and is playing really, really good football. And for Supercoach, his role, the halfback flank field general kind of guy, like your Matty Roberts, Supercoach loves those roles. So yeah, I think Zorko's better off, like a better prospect than your Lockie Neal or Dunkley even. I reckon if you're going to have a Brisbane player, the Zork is 100% the one you should have. The most upside. It's decently priced. I mean, 600k, he's my most expensive player, but I think he's the way to go. Anyway, guys, I will leave it at that. Leave any comments. Let me know what you think of my team anyway. And yeah, we'll see you around.